Hello everyone, and welcome back to another exciting deck profile for you guys. I know it's been a bit, but I decided to share a little holiday spirit here with you guys, so I did want to show you the new Wind Ice deck that we've been working on here in South Florida. I originally got this idea from one of the Tampa locals, Jacob. When he was visiting for a wedding, I believe, he came and he stomped around our playing grounds here. And as we were talking, he said he wanted to try this out. I haven't seen his version of it lately, but this is the one that we've been working on here. And one of our local players, she destroyed me the other day. Well, I wouldn't say destroy. It was a really close game, and it came all the way down to the end. But ultimately, I couldn't deal with freezing all my stuff, and then just all those chocobos attacking and snow dealing, like dulling everything really. The later the game got, it was really tough to deal with. But without further ado, we can go ahead and talk about the deck now. First things first, two Bobliz. Now, I want to talk about Bobliz for a second because when I went to the FFBE FanFest, I took a Fire Ice aggro list with me. And if you guys want to see that, just leave it at least one comment about it, and I'll share it as soon as I can. And the thing about Bobliz is that when you're my favorite part about this really, for two reasons, is that it lets me search the Shiva, and that even though it is a monster, it kind of helps with some of the other cards later in this deck. But when your opponent is at 6 points of damage, Bobliz is by far the most dangerous card on the field. And the reason I say that is because if your opponent is at 6 damage and they have like only, let's say, 2 to 3 forwards, which is an average, right? You're going to attack with Bobliz. Now, they can't let it go through because obviously they lose. And when they block it, you're going to get Shiva, which essentially either doles 2, or you have the other one that dole and freezes, or that breaks, deals damage to a dole in this case, right? And this card is only going to be like stronger as we get more Shivas, but we already have a handful as it is. But when you're getting there and you're trying to because the main concept behind this deck is you're kind of rushing down, right? Similar to the other one. But yeah, getting that last piece, you don't have to search for it, right? Bobliz does that for you, and again, your opponents have to block. So when you have them all the way down to 6 points of damage, this one is going to be the biggest threat on the board, and that's why I really enjoy this card. Next is Zargabath. Now, Zargabath lets you drop any 3 cost or less from your hand onto the field that's not ice. You don't have any other ice forwards here except Bobliz, so that's never going to be a problem. So you're going to drop Izana or any of the Chocobos, Chocobo Knight, and even the Galdez as you see the list here. And either one of those is going to be great. Next is Izana, obviously triple Izana. This is your main search for the one fat Chocobo you have. And yeah, if you draw it later, then you just get some of the other stuff. But getting the fat Chocobo is going to be important, just so you can kind of get the combos going. And the combos in this deck are similar to the ones from the Chocobo Paradise. And that's kind of why I wanted to show this deck to you, because honestly, an updated Chocobo Paradise deck has been the most requested video from all of you guys. I've gotten several comments and questions of when am I going to update or show play of this. And I will be showing you some gameplay footage of this deck soon. But I just wanted to go over the deck with you guys first. But yeah, so the triple Izana. And next we have the Hasty Boy Chocobo, Final Fantasy VII one. This one's the most important one, obviously, because it helps you get the damage. Also gives your party the buffs, so it's very good. You also have to remember when your forwards are partying attacking with the snow, you can trigger it twice and dole 2 things at once. So since they're going to be attacking anyway, your opponent's going to essentially have to have 3 forwards at a time sometimes to deal with getting in the damage. So it's obviously going to be more troublesome than it was before. I considered keeping the Paradise thing in here, but this is cheaper overall and equally as aggressive. And the only real thing that deals with this is like Exodus or well, everything can deal with it on its own pace, but it is possible to what is the word I'm looking for? Overcome pretty much a lot of the decks out there. So next you have the Haste Chocobo. This one's really good just to help give your Bobliz maybe, or the Chocobo Knight haste, so you can drop more forwards or get Chocobo Knights. Bobliz swinging. It also helps with the Galdes too. Like you have the true chat spell there in the back of the show, so having it attack. Well, we'll talk about it in a sec, really. Next is the standard unit build, the one that doesn't take damage when it party attacks, which is great. Always remember, swinging with two of them mean they'll never take damage. Next is the one that lets you special, and again, this one's only like I wouldn't play this Chocobo in a tempo Chocobo version, but this one helps you flood the board and get more bodies to trigger snow, and that's kind of what we want always. The next one is I'm playing the 2 of the 13 one. Now, there was a couple reasons for keeping in this one. One, we want more Chocobos, obviously, more searchable targets. But we also want more. I was kind of going for the 13 thing. And between him and Snow, I was kind of considering adding Sarah. I didn't make the cut, obviously. Sarah's just too expensive, and we already have enough dulling with the Snow and the Shivas and stuff like that. So it's really unnecessary, but it was a thought. If you guys remember, I did play a few of these in the last one, so I kept that. If we were trying to be like, if when you guys are build this deck and you want to make changes, this could probably be the first option that you can move around with. If you don't like the numbers, because I believe we have like 30 wind and 19 or something like that ice, we can take these Chocobos out and add more ice cards if you're really insistent on that. Haven't seen a problem with the numbers myself, but there's that. Next is Chocobo Knight. Obviously, very important card, helps you search, and then it lets you drop more as you go. The main target to give haste to, or the main drop target for Zargabath as well. So something to think about. And then the next one is Galdes. Now, we've seen this card come out a lot in a bunch of decks, especially Earth, Wind, Ice, and so they share elements here. So I was considering putting it in from the beginning. The main reason you want to keep this in here is it is on curve. It is a strong card. Zargabath can drop it, and with True Chat Spell helps you freeze. Well, they work together, but puts him at 9k, and it lets you get a monster back. It's a forward that lets you get a monster back, and Bobliz is also considered a monster under all conditions. So it'll help you get Bobliz back for later in the game when you need to. So he's almost equally as threatening if you think about it. But that wraps up the forwards, 26 forwards. The backups are pretty simple. We have triple Arc, triple Moogle. Arc is obviously for the standard because they're all standard units. The Moogle is there to search. You can pretty much fill in the blanks there for what you're looking for. You can get the Shivas if you don't have the Boblizes. You can get the Snow if you're not there yet. It's pretty simple. I'm not running the Aeriths anymore. The Aeriths were just a little extra protection, but this will make things a little faster. Triple Sid Haze, obviously. They're all standard units anyway, so you're going to want to get them. Only one Fat Chocobo this time. Again, you just need to play it once to kind of get the combo off. And if your opponent's at the rate this deck kind of swarms and gets into you, if your opponent is planning on destroying Fat Chocobo, let them. They're wasting the CP for it anyway, so we're definitely keeping it at 1. Triple True Chest Spell, again, just makes Galdes 9k, which just makes him something to help deal with. And then your opponent selects something in Dull and Freeze, which is going to be good. Just an extra kind of, hey, pick one, Dull and Freeze, and then I'll just dull the rest with Snow. And Snow is the main concept behind the deck, obviously. So it is called Snowbirds. And with him and your swarming ability, you're just going to be able to dull everything and get the points in of damage faster than that. The summon lineup is pretty simple. We're just going with the Shiva package. I would have liked to have fit more Shivas, but I think the important thing is keeping as many forwards as possible, just so you're always swinging. We do have triple of the EX Burst Shiva, kind of to help out in the long game. Triple of the Dull 2 forwards Shiva, and then 2 of the other EX Burst to choose one forward, dull it, and freeze it. And that's just pretty much going to help slow down your opponent beyond imagination. I definitely insist you guys test this deck out. Let me know what you guys think. Again, I want to give thanks to Jacob for the idea and Danielle for running it at locals, helping us get all the reps into it. And yeah, that's going to be it, guys. I hope you guys are enjoying your holidays. Stay tuned. We're going to have our end of the year podcast coming up, as well as a couple more deck profiles. And I think that'll be it before the end of the year. But yeah, so I hope you like it. Definitely check it out, test it, give me all your feedback. And if you're looking for the Fire Ice one, just let me know.